y'all, it's Hope at Crafty Hope and welcome. It is time for my week 23 mixed media prompt project for hashtag Crafty Hope prompts. Almost didn't get that right. Crafty Hope prompts is something I created for myself to build a prompt deck. And basically every Monday I'm pulling 3 prompts. I have a full list of 156 prompts. You can find those below if you want a long list of prompts, but that's enough for 3 prompts every week for a year. So there are 52 cards in a playing card deck and 52 weeks in a year, so I kind of combine those things to do this. So Mondays, I'm pulling 3 prompts and altering a playing card with those prompts. This week, week 23, I made this card with the prompts twine, gouache, and book text. So you can see here I did this little twine weaving. I used gouache in the background and both the background and this little word or book text. So I did the same thing on this side, which is my functional side with my prompts. But anyway, that's too long of an explanation. Then later in the week on Saturdays, I take those same 3 prompts and do another project. So this is that other project for this week. And what I'm going to do, I think, is just work in this little junk journal. I've told y'all before, I'm trying to get to the end of it. I don't have but a couple more spreads left. Let's see, this one and 2 more, and then the back page, it looks like. So we're getting there. I'm getting super close. So I'm going to work in here. It's definitely not sitting down. And I've pulled out the same jar of baker's twine that I had on Monday, along with my container of gouache that is already opened. And then these are some book pages, some novel pages that I just randomly pulled out so I can get some text out of them later in this process. So I'm going to get started. I've got a general idea of what I'm going to do. I don't think it's going to be as intense as the weaving was this week or as elegant, but we'll see. I've got, like I said, it's a general idea. We'll see what happens. So I'm going to get to it. And the first thing I'm doing is pinning down my pages. You could see that little junk journal is super thick. And it needs to be flattened out. I'll end up taking those off at some point and not putting back on probably. I've got this piece of dictionary paper that I used a little bit of walnut ink on to just make some marks. And I'm going to collage that down using my Uhu glue stick. Now, I thought, and y'all, I don't have a lot of experience with the walnut ink. I had bought some walnut ink crystals and then put some in a little dropper jar, and that's what I've been using. And that's, I had some extra from another project. I don't even remember which project. I think one of my mini assemblages that I'm doing for the 100-day project. But I had some left over, so I thought, oh, I'll just make some marks on some other paper I have sitting here. And that's what I did. It is not as color fast as I thought. I did not think the walnut ink was water soluble once, but apparently it is, because we'll get to that in a little bit. But I'm going to add some collage. I like the book pages that are in the background of this, so I didn't want to cover them up too much. You can see on the left side, it's a handwritten letter, and on the right side, it's part of a ledger page. So these are just a couple strips from a reproduction Sears and Roebuck catalog that I've got, and so I'm just putting those down. I like the big numbers in it. That kind of shows through later, and I like that. So I've got some collage down. Like I said, I didn't want to cover the whole thing, and I pulled out that gouache. I'm going to reconstitute it with my sprayer and grab a paintbrush, and I was trying to decide what colors I was going to do, and on my Monday post, Betty asked in the comments why I never use bright colors. And y'all, bright colors really aren't my jam, but I have been, I don't know, there's something in the back of my head that's envisioning something with a really bright pink and yellow. So I was like, you know what, let's go ahead and just do that. So it's not exactly what I had envisioned, and I think I might try still that vision that's in my head later. But for now, I'm going to do that. So you saw that pink just straight across the middle. And then I'm coming in with the yellow just around some of the edges and pulling, kind of blending some of that pink. The gouache I hardly ever use. Gouache paint is like a watercolor, but it's a little more opaque, is what I have learned from it. But I don't use it enough to be any kind of expert. But I was really liking how it blended here and really was vibrant. So I'm gonna have to play with these a bit more. But I was liking that, of course, the yellow and the pink will blend to make an orange, but I was getting some mud in some areas, and that is also where a lot of my walnut marks kind of disappeared, especially over on that left one. So, yeah, I don't know. Once I had those done, I really wanted some movement and marks on here, and I decided since I've got the pink and the yellow, why not come in with a turquoise so that way I have like a primary color thing going on. And yeah, I used a Stabilo Woody and just, you saw, just move that across the page. And for some reason, I decided at this point I needed something a little bit dark brought back in. So I've got my De La Rowney FW acrylic ink in Payne's Gray just to do a little bit of splatter. There was something about this that was like, yeah, I need some Payne's Gray on here. I need something that's a little more me colored. So instead of doing the coffee, because I do have that walnut ink in there, I thought, okay, we'll do Payne's Gray. That is one of my jams. So I splattered that just a little bit, and then I believe I'm going to go ahead and dry this. I was looking at it, thinking about watering that down a little bit more, but I said, nah, I might reconstitute everything. And from there, I'm going to open up my little container of focals and found this Tim Holtz paper doll that's got this couple on it and thought, oh, they're kind of perfect. So I futzed around with this bit of fabric for ages, y'all. I cut all of that out so y'all didn't have to see me. But I decided to just snip off a little piece. I don't even know what this is. Some kind of cotton fabric, and here is where I'm going to try to bring in my twine. So I've got this brown baker's twine. I believe it's just bought from the Dollar Tree, and a larger head needle that I knew that baker's twine would fit in there. So I threaded it onto that needle, tied a knot at the end, and I'm going to run one running stitch. I thought I was going to maybe try to slow stitch this whole piece, but the head of that needle being so large really, it was more trouble than I really wanted to deal with. So I decided, yeah, we'll just do this one stitch, and then, I've got the twine added in here. I really wanted to do something a little more ambitious. I kept thinking that I was going to maybe make a tassel of some kind on a bead and hang that from the side of the sternal with a one of those bulb pins, and that was going to be my idea, but I couldn't get it to work. I couldn't wrap my head around it, so that's something I'll have to try another time. So as I played with that, I really liked it sitting over there on the right and running toward the couple. And I liked the twine sitting at the bottom, so it had some weight to it. And here I'm going to bring in my book text. So I found it was just a sentence, or maybe even just part of a phrase, that said, walking together arm in arm in the garden, something like that. You'll see it in a second. But using this large print book, and with that couple being there, I thought I really wanted something that kind of denoted that it was a couple, or at least more than one person. So I found that, walking arm in arm through the garden, and I thought that was absolutely perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my little dauber with my walnut stained distress ink on it and ink the edges of that phrase. I probably should have inked the edges of that paper doll too while I had them and had all that out, but I didn't. I'll do something else in a minute. But yeah, I'll take a few minutes here to ink these edges. I have been finding this is really, I don't know, it really helps finish off pieces. I've not been doing this inking, and y'all, there's so many of y'all that do it, and yeah, y'all are so smart. So I will use my glue stick just to glue that sentiment, phrase, whatever it is, onto the paper. Onto the fabric. Excuse me, I got the hiccups. Yeah, okay, I think that's gone. So I glued that down, and I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac to stick the fabric to the book page. This is something I've been using lately, and y'all, I'm really loving it. What took me so long to buy some Fabri-Tac? I don't know. So I stick that down, and I'm going to try to figure out where I want my twine to lead, and that guy's hand is sitting there over on that side, and I thought, oh, that would be neat to have it go, like he's holding that sentiment. So I'll use the Fabri-Tac also to stick my paper dolls down. So y'all, yeah, see, it's such a great product. I'm loving it. So I'll put them down. I'm going to try to get and I'm not even gluing that twine down. I kind of want it to move, and I'm trying to make sure it's not tight so it doesn't rip or pull anything off. And then I'll trim the other edge of the twine at some point. It may not be now. And all I'm going to do from here is take my Stabilo All pencil and add some shadow around this couple, and also ground down at the bottom. So I'll activate that with water, and that will be it. This was a super quick and fast project. It was exactly what I needed. Just something, I don't know, just something easy and pretty, and I really do think it turned out beautiful. So I really want to play with that gouache, maybe some bright colors some more. So thanks for the suggestion, Betty. I was thinking about you. And I'll see if I can get them on the cards as well. But for now, I kind of go with what feels right. And most of the time, it's not bright. I'm going to give y'all some pictures of this at the end. If y'all like this, or give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions, let me know. And I will see y'all very soon. Make sure to subscribe too. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. Bye.